Two. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. The Lord said, confession good for the soul. So right now,
all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on a life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you, I had your life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me, but that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name, now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas, not knowing that them handcuffs custom made the fence. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be on papers and on restrictions. My father said a hard head to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap, I thank the Lord for the day I was on 8th Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court. Found the DC school, I swear it felt like I cried on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm UPK, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and I started running fast. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. Go ahead. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Isupk until it hit the fan. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand, gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crown, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty, make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jail, shit, I needed help. But Swan was locked up and the judge put man on the shelf. Had me crying cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie and pump smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponents. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Then God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made before the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, but I was just a stranger. All I ever
right, let's go ahead and clap it up. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and clap it up. Just like every Tuesday, man, I'm Precinct Officer Uriah. I'm saying this is the Isupk Houston Brotherhood class, man. Where check, where we kind of go over, you know what I'm saying, just the glue, the adhesive, you know what I'm saying, that helps, you know, to keep a nation together, man. You know, it's what keeps all the animosity and all the tension down. Like, and you think about brotherhood, you know, it should come to mind to you as you see two bricks, you know what I'm saying, or a house, and that house can't stand if there's not something that's helping to mitigate and keep things together, man. And brotherhood is just that, man. That's the mortar to the brick, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna help keep this nation abreast and to bring this nation back to life, man. You know, last week we had been going over, you know, just that there's a time to speak and there's a time to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? And expounding in on that same premise, or leading further from that, you know, you have that time to speak and you have that time to be quiet, but then I want to go in on when you granted that time to speak, or when it is that time to speak, you know, how should you, you know, use your words, and how should you frame your words, you know, like there's a time to chastise somebody, and there's a time to, you know, Salakia for that. There's a time to grant mercy to a person. And in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, I'm going to go there real fast. In the book of Ecclesiastes, it goes over that. You know, it goes over, you know, that those, just a different time for things. So in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, it reads, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven." So in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, it begins to go over, you know, just different times. You know what I'm saying? That there's a time for birth, there's a time for death, there's a time to kill, there's a time to heal. You know, there's a time for everything. And understanding that there's a time for everything, you'll develop what's known as, or what we call here in the school, seasoning. You know, that when you're a young officer like myself, you know, and not everybody has this skill, and it's honest to God a good skill to have. You know, it allows you to discern, or it helps to impart in your discernment when speaking with people. So the book of Colossians, chapter 4, verse 6 goes further and says, "Let your speech be always with grace." So when you speak, you know, you don't, like, you know, when some, like, how they would say, you know, when she's gracefully walking through the room, she's doing it with ease. So when you speak to people, it shouldn't be a hard thing to do, and it shouldn't cause a lot of confusion. You let your speech let your speech always be always with grace, seasoned with salt. That seasoning, that's something that we have lost within being enslaved and the type of lifestyle that they've given us here as Black Americans, or Hispanic Americans and Native Americans. They've given us a lifestyle in which you feel like you can be the same person, or they'll tell you, you know, I'm the same person, or you'll hear people say, I'm the same person no matter who I'm around. I'm the same. And to a certain degree, sometimes with some people, that's very true. You are. A lot of people like to show their ignorance. You know what I mean? They don't care to cater their words to the audience that might be around. They don't care to taper off a little bit of their arrogance or a little bit of their pridefulness or a little bit of their boastfulness, depending on who they talk to. Hell, you have some women, especially if you of you that have been raised in single mother homes. Oh God, did your mother just berate you every chance that she could? It didn't matter. Like, I mean, one thing that you do will equal the same as you breaking a window. I mean, you could just, forget a plate on the counter, and she go cussing you out like you just robbed somebody, or like you done stole something. So what happened to us is that because of the dynamic of the home, you never learn how to talk to people. You never. It's like, like we brought out last week. If you were taught how to speak to someone, because this is how I look at an officer. I look at him as if he's at work. I treat him the same way I treat a waitress at a restaurant. I'm gonna talk to you like I got some sense, because it's something that you can do to me regarding your job, and I'm at your place of business. You know what I'm saying? I treat them the same. Now with that seasoning, yes, of course, I speak to each one according to their job or according to their outfit, not according to just them being a person of service. You know what I mean? But, one is regarding my life, the other one might be regarding food or what have you. But there's a way to do that, man, and that's called with season. So let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. So that seasoning, that we're speaking about, it lets you, it begins to teach you how to understand how to address people. That you can't just go around addressing everybody in the same light or the same fashion. That's not always the best way to handle situations. It's just like with your children. You have a child that can endure chastisement. You have another child who might need it, who can endure chastisement, but the way that you chastise them or the way that you speak to them can provoke different outcomes to what you're trying to have happen. So like me, I have my son and I have my daughter. My daughter's a lot more easygoing. I mean, I can just talk to her and just show her a bit of disappointment, and that's all she needs to get it right. After that, whatever the problem was, she'll fix it. Because to her, me being disappointed and even letting her know that I'm disappointed in her and that she ought to be ashamed of herself is enough it's enough to bring her to tears. It's enough to invoke shame or to provoke shame, and she on about her business, man. She going flying colors. Now my son is a bit different. Now, he's young, but at the same time, he needs a more stern action or a more stern voice to make him fly straight or fly right or begin to respect his mom or to do whatever it is that, I need from him. Or even with being at work. My job, it involves me to speak with different people, and these calls can come, back to back. So in that, I can hear it how that these two people might have the same issue, but one person I can hear that they might want straight and direct answers, and I can, go through another conversation with mere flattery or, beating around the bush about the subject because they don't really want to hear the straight and direct that whatever they're looking for can't happen. They want to know, well, okay, well, I'm sorry, and they want all of that. You get people who just don't want the sorry. They can give a damn about how sorry I am. They really just want, can it be done or not? And that's something that you have to develop in time. And that's more what's called soft skills. Those soft skills, those one that make you palatable to everybody, is something that's lost, within our communities. Being palatable, being pleasant, or at least understanding that there's a time, a place, and a situation that you can, bring about different speech styles or different conversation styles. You know what I mean? We feel like we can just be, however, without first understanding the situations that we're in or what situations can come about regarding how we speak toward one another. So we're going to move forward. We're going to go into Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20 and 19. Because, you know, the thing is that when you don't know how to speak or you don't know what to say and where to say it at, can cause you a lot of problems. Can cause you a lot of unrest in your life. Can cause you a lot of strife. You know, it cause you a great deal of arguments, a great deal of confusion, and a great deal of frustration, because you don't know when and where, the time and the place, and how to handle yourself in situations. So, you know, this scripture goes, an unseasonable tale will always be in the mouth of the unwise. You know what I'm saying? Well, matter of fact, let's go up one more. I like that one too. To slip on a pavement is better than to slip with the tongue. You know what I'm saying? It's saying it's better to bust your head than to say the wrong thing. It's just better. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, you know, you could go home and for sisters, you know, you and your husband might be arguing, and then, you know how Judite women is. Well, really all the 12 tribes. That sister is waiting to say the worst thing to you that she can think of. And after she say it, she get them big old eyes. Ooh. And then it's kind of, well, you know, you already cashed that check. You can't even take that back. And really, we all do that to each other. You know what I'm saying? And when we have them conversations, those type of conversations be the ones that sometimes make or break a household. Sometimes some of them arguments be some of the worst arguments between a man and a woman. And those will be the ones that, you know, or end a family or end a relationship, all because you couldn't control your tongue. You could not say this thing. You had to come up with the worst thing to say. Or, you know, you done seen people, you know, you tell somebody something, and then when they around the person you was trying to hide the incident from, or at least, you know, keep it from them because you knew how it would make them feel. You know, this person, well, you remember what you told me? And then they look and it's, ooh, did I say that in front of, man, my bad, I didn't mean to. But, and the way you protect yourself from these situations, or you protect others from your own, you know, foolishness or your unwiseness or your unseasoned nature, sometimes it's just best that you keep things to yourself. And then you'll be able to discern these situations of when to say things and when not to say things, or how to say things, or how to come about different conversations, or how to bring about, you know, to get the reaction or the response that you're requiring from people or that you're looking for from somebody. So the scripture further goes to say, so the fall of the wicked shall come speedily. So, and this is saying like wicked people, you know what I'm saying, like those of us in Israel that behave in wicked manners or wicked fashion, the fall to them comes quick, because you know what, they can't help but say the wrong thing at the wrong time, say, you know, unwise things at different times. But it's because they don't know any better. They're not looking to increase their seasoning or to increase, you know, their manners. Because really what this is about is having manners for different times and different places, man. What's going down now? 12? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's to bring about manners, man. Like, we lack manners. And manners, you know what I'm saying, you could lump that into a subject within brotherhood, man. Because if you have brotherhood and you love your brothers, you're going to conduct yourself around them with manners. You're going to be pleasant to be around. They're going to understand that this brother here, he just doesn't say things, man, for the hell of it. He just doesn't, you know what I'm saying, speak unwisely and foolishly. He listens to matters. He judges matters before he speaks. And that's also a healthy way to deal with your women. And for those of us that have wives or a wife, and those of us with children. Somebody at the door, I think. You know what I'm saying? It's something to learn. Seasoning, man. Like, take that down and begin to build on it and expound on it with yourself. And you'll see that there's just situations that, hey, you could avoid based off how you speak. When you decided, hey, sit down. Hurry up. Get in that seat. Salakia. You know what I'm saying? It's just a time and a place, man. We're gonna go on to Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 23. Shalom, Lord in Christ, you know what I'm saying? All right. So Proverbs chapter 15, verse 23 goes on and it says, a man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season, how good is it? So what this is saying right here, let me come up here, Con, huh? You know what I'm saying? What this is saying right here, that a word spoken at the right time, how good is it for your situations or whatever it is that might arouse you or whatever might happen or whatever you're going through, to say the right thing at the right time, how good is it? I mean, how many of us have, been in the courtroom knowing that we in there for some BS, a bad ticket, you know what I'm saying? Or, even in your past, you know what I'm saying? When you was a kid and your mom, she just happened to, ask you where you been or why you're late coming home, and you say the right thing at the right time to her, and she just let it go on by. You just, yes, like, yes, damn. Or, you know what I'm saying? In your past life when you're dealing with all them women, you know what I'm saying, and your girl asks you, well, who is that? Oh, well, that ain't, it's nobody, that's just somebody from work, man. You see the conversation, we ain't talking about nothing. And she just take it for what it is. You just go, yes. And that's just wickedly. But now, for those of us that exist here in the truth now, to say the right thing at the right time, it saves you a lot of headache. You know what I'm saying? Or learning how to say things or when to say things. You know what I'm saying? It saves you a lot of trouble. It saves you a lot of arguments. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying, avoid the battles. Nah, sometimes you got to get in those battles to sharpen your sword. Because then that's how you begin to develop that seasoning. You know what I'm saying? As you deal with different characters, speaking to different people. You know what I'm saying? Learning the different angles that people will try to come at you, you know what I'm saying, regarding the truth and they wicked lifestyle. You'll develop that season. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go and I deal with my family, we to a point now where, I didn't cut them up into sushi so much. We don't even have the conversations regarding the truth really. So now it's just, I'm gonna let him be him, and hey, look, you don't bother me, I ain't gonna bother you. We gonna keep it square because we understand. We got an understanding now because I know what your angle is. I know you don't want to change. But when I say the right things at the right time for them, especially when they come to me, asking about their life or, asking, it's regarding different subjects, because of the truth, I developed a certain character for myself amongst my family, which I'm pretty sure most brothers, in the school, if not all, have developed that with their family. That they understand you have a wisdom to you. You have an unearthly wisdom to you that exceeds that of most people that they encounter, unless they encounter more brothers in the truth. You know what I'm saying? We're going to drop that. And we're going to go on to the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 23. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth. Now, as we know, what I'm saying, because of, being here for so long, you get the understanding that your heart is not your beating heart. Your beating heart doesn't teach your mouth anything. Your beating heart passes blood throughout your body. It helps to move the blood or circulate the blood throughout your body. So your beating heart doesn't do anything for you. Can't teach your mouth anything. Your heart is your mind. And your mind, the mind of the wise teacheth his mouth. So just think about that for a second, man. How could your mind teach your mouth? If you understood, your mind can teach your mouth what to say. Your mind tells your mouth what to say, how to say, when to say, and who to say it to. So now you have to be in your right mind to display or to say things to people the correct way. How to say it and who to say it to. Your mind can teach your mouth. And added learning to his lips. And that learning is what's going to come out of it's going to teach your lips what to say. It adds learning to it. You know what I'm saying? Like your mind and your mouth, they should be hand in hand. One should lead and follow after the other. Like, man, how some people say, man, damn, man, I spoke too soon. Or I said that without even thinking. Like these scriptures, they real, and they should start to become more real the more that you dig down into this truth and the more that you build this craft of a lot of us of teaching or speaking or battling, this craft of hearing matters, hearing the thoughts of other people, beginning to get that underlying, thing that people are really battling for, like, how the general would say, when you hear people, talk about that God loves everybody, really, the argument that the person is having is that you just really love your oppressor. And now there's a way to come to that actual argument within the premise of what you all might begin to speak about or how you're speaking to the person to actually get them to say what it is that you want them to say, so that way you can cut them in the best way possible. You got something on there? You about to say something? Yeah. So like I say, man, the heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and added learning to his lips, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta start thinking before you speak. Think about who you speaking to. Think about the audience around you before you start speaking. Now, granted, you might be having a conversation with you and your child, and nobody else should be paying attention, but because people are around, you should begin to think about, okay, well, I'm in the grocery store. I'm not just going to call you a stupid such and such and berate you here, because this might cause some damage for your self-esteem, or even using them words can cause self-esteem issues. But you'll only learn what to say and how to say it, by actually leading with your mind first and then letting your lips follow. Taking your time when you speak, Now going further, it says, verse 24, pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. So in certain times, pleasant words, they're good. They're good to hear. And you can make a person feel good. And you can build them up with good words. Like especially, from a higher ranking officer to a young officer, saying, hey, the water, man, I really appreciate the work that you're doing, man. You solid warrior. I appreciate that. That's a good guy. That's a good damn thing to hear. When it's deserved, at its right time and in its due season. Because you ain't gonna get that for not doing anything. And when they bestow that to you, understand that, there was a time where, a person might have saw you do something and might just walk on by it because it's your job. But in learning that season and learning when and how to speak to people, you'll do that when it's deserved. And when you do it, again, the scriptures say it's as in honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. You'll learn to build people up with the words that you use because there's a time to do so. Now, on the opposite, well, we'll just read on. Hold on.
Okay, so where you at?
Now we finna drop that, and then we're gonna go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 18 and 6.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes.
Now, a fool's lips enter into contention. Now we're gonna pull out the definition of contention. What was that? Bear with me a second. Now we're gonna pull out the definition of contention. Oh, you got your phone up here? No, I grab it. Don't even worry about it. You got it already? Let me get that.
This is the definition of contention. Heated disagreement.
A what?
Heated disagreement.
A fool's lips enter into a heated disagreement, and his mouth what?
Calleth for strokes.
And them strokes is like a hit. Like that's what a stroke is. Like you can strike something. Stroke is just like a past tense of strike. Call it for strokes. I mean, when you sitting up and you saying things to folks and you ain't thinking about what you saying, being foolish and unwise, you can get into an argument. In your mouth, you're gonna be edging for a fight. That's what foolish words can cause, man. At the wrong time. That foolish words can cause for a fight. And many people don't understand that. That they'll just say things to folks and not really give a damn about who they saying it to. Like, you ever catch sometimes, them people that talk tough in the club sometimes, and that be the brother that get knocked out.
Right.
Because he really ain't understand who the hell he was talking to. He didn't know. He just, well, you ain't this, and you will be, and what you want to do, and bluesy, blasey, blue, and now you knocked out in the middle of the club, or you get shot outside, because you ain't know that your lips could bring death to you. Many of us don't realize that, man, that the way that you speak to people is because that's your interaction. And the way that you interact with people can be detrimental to not only your life, but the lives of others around you. Are we going to go on?
Come, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7. A fool's mouth is his destruction.
A fool's mouth is his what?
His destruction.
His life. His destruction, yeah.
And his lips are the snare of his soul.
So a fool's mouth, again, like I say, that's going to bring about his destruction, man. That most people, like, the thing is, man, because we're taught to be such an abrasive people, we don't know how to turn it off or when to turn. We'll turn it on for our oppressors. We'll turn on all the showing your gums and take the bass out your voice and all the aggression out your voice when you deal with devils. But let it be your brother. You'll have so much malice in your voice, so much animosity, so much tension, so much anger. And it's like, God, dog, You know what I'm saying? This supposed to be your brother. And you don't understand that this man, he should be treated with respect too. Or this sister should be treated with respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to start taking the initiative of learning manners when dealing with one another, especially with speech, especially with how we talk to one, because you never understand how pleasing it is to somebody just at their job,
Right.
for you to say, may I have that, please? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That you'll in turn uplift that person, and then they'll return the favor unto you at times. Not saying it's going to happen every time, but a great deal of the time, it's good to show other people that you have manners.
Right.
It was a movie I used to watch back in the day. It's called Paying It Forward. You know, like, we'll pay it forward when it come to white people. And the bastard won't give you nothing back. You'll open the door for him and, hey, how you doing? Take all the base out, say all the little things. Hey, buddy, brother. Hey, brother.
Right.
Call him your brother. But then when it's really your kinsman, when it's really your brother,
Right.
it's, man, nigga, man, boy, you'll disrespect your brother
Right.
for no reason, man. And for that, the scripture says, drop me down to 19. Or you got something on that?
Yeah, Salaki, if I
Go
may,
ahead,
you know, control of your mouth is like vital. You know what I'm saying? You know, that can lead to that shows, you know, how much you love that person or how much you hate that person.
Right?
Because, you know, like some of us, you know what I'm saying? You know, some people show that they hate they blood brother and love their homeboys because they treat their homeboys or their homegirls better than they do their own siblings.
Right? Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll let your homeboy borrow $100, but you won't give $2 to your brother or your sister.
Good night.
You know what I'm saying?
Good night.
And it's even worse when you know, like when we dealing with the oppressor.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like you would take off your work shirt and put it over a puddle for a white woman to,
Good night.
you know, walk in the rain. But you'll sit there and record a sister walking across in the rain and hope she fall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And laugh.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you would rather see your oppressor win versus, you know, our nation winning.
Good night.
You know what I'm saying? And like control, like your mouth is just like your actions almost. You know what I'm saying?
Damn now, if I could, your mouth and your actions, damn near align.
Right.
Because the way that you talk to black folks, or the way that you talk about black folks, Hispanic, like, man, I seen some stuff, man, a while back on the internet, bro, that brother was like, man, goddamn these Hispanics, and went to go attack one, you know what I'm saying, just like that. And I'm like, God, dog, you really have a disdain for these, but you won't take it there with your oppressor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or you know, you have these Hispanic folks that, oh man, these niggers, and say it just like a white person, and we see a black person, you open the door, you won't even say hi, got your head tucked down. We got to start having manners, man, with one another, man, uplifting one another, because like that scripture I just read said, pleasant words, man, are as the honeycomb. It's sweet to the soul and good for the bones, paraphrasing, man. You can build somebody up with these words. And in turn, what you'll see is that you'll begin to bring back our nation together with simply learning how to speak. We can get the verbiage down later. Cause I mean, if you can say something decent, at least the right way, we getting there. That's a step. But goddamn, when you can't say nothing, like how we all used to get told when we was kids, man, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all.
Right.
Just keep your damn mouth closed. Just be goddamn quiet. Because then people, one, won't know your damn ignorance, and then two, it'll save you the trouble of cashing a check that your ass can't cash.
Right.
It'll save it. What you got? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like if I may, man. Your body language matters too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like, okay, you go to. Well, I can't use Chick-fil-A because they pretty much the same with everybody.
Yeah, it's the same.
You know what I'm saying? They the same with everybody.
Go to Popeye.
Chick-fil-A. You know, I take you order. Oh, my pleasure.
Hey, they getting paid
You know,
$12 an
yeah,
hour up
yeah,
in there.
yeah, they good. But when you go to
get paid.
Popeyes, or when you go to, Whataburger, Burger King, you know what I'm saying, a brother or sister walk up, what barber man help you?
Yeah.
You want, that's it? $5.25. But when an oppressor roll up, hello, welcome to such and such. Today we have this is special. You know, and if you buy this, we can also throw in this for you.
Right.
Would that be all? Would you like fries or shake or anything? Okay, that'll be such and such and such. Oh, thank you very. Here's your receipt. Thank you very much for shopping with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that'll make anybody day that, you know what I'm saying, somebody's serving their food, like, man, he making me feel good. Like he wants to make my food.
Right.
But when you, hey man, help me, like, oh Lord, man, I hold down spitting my drink or nothing, looking like she mad, like I didn't make you clock in.
Right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just be clocking in, they be mad. I'm like, come on, man, like, please. You know what I'm saying? But when an oppressor come in, hey, how are you? You know, they chipper, you know, they the back straight, the shoulders back, you know what I'm saying? The neck up, hi, how are you? I'm like, come on now.
And they willing, and you're willing to give that energy to your oppressor.
Right.
And you're doing it, and to be honest, the thing is that they understand that there's an underlying factor that when you're dealing with the oppressors and they come to your jobs, that'll be the person, if you piss him off, he get you fired today.
Right.
You do a brother or a sister that way, you show them how you feeling. Half the time, person might not even complain. And if they do complain, supervisor going to be on your side. Because if it's a brother or a sister, 9 times out of 10, they got the same attitude you got because we all living in hell. But this is the thing, that just because we living in hell don't mean we have to respond or act toward one another. And we got a question online? No. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Just because we in hell doesn't mean that we have to act hellish toward one another. We don't have to be our greatest tormentors against one another. Because this brotherhood here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is the ointment for the hell. All that burn, all of that heat that you feel. This brotherhood here is what can change the status of how we all interact with one another and the willingness that we'll have to participate with each other. Like simply because of the way that black folks act or the way that they speak to one another, just like you was bringing out, is the reason why black businesses don't last long, or certain black businesses don't last long, especially those within the restaurant industry.
Right.
That when you walk into the restaurant and it's a sister behind the bar and she got that attitude and she got her nose turned up, I know I'm not coming back here.
Right.
I know for a fact I ain't coming back here. Because the thing is, she don't know how to talk to people.
Right. But so like if I may, like you expect, it's like sit on that side out. Like you expect exemplary service from black people at any establishment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like when you go to a black business and they have a lackluster service, you blast them on social, oh, they got bad service, I'm not coming here no more. But when you go to these expensive, oppressor restaurants, they can't stand you walking in the door anyway.
But
you know what I'm saying? And they give you the worst service in the restaurant, and you still spend top dollar for their stuff.
And Salaki, if I may, you know what I'm saying, and to that same token, because you didn't walk into the oppressor's establishment for good service. You walked in the oppressor's establishment for the status of what it is,
right?
Not for who they are.
Right.
But now when we begin to change that part of us and go ahead and go into Roscoe's Chicken and Shaniqua big head back there and she got attitude, hey girl, calm down. It's okay. We gonna make it through together. We gotta learn how to ease that pain from one another. And what we can do to do that is by imparting manners when we speak to one another. Like in this school was so heavy, and what draws back to a lot of people when they first see us, they see the rough and the rugged exterior. But you know what they first notice is the welcoming spirit of everybody.
Right.
It doesn't matter what sister or what brother you first walk up to. It's shalom. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. They treat you like you literally have been missed. And for the most part, well, really, hell, to be honest, you are. And it doesn't matter what person you are. Like right now, my brother just walked in here. Shalom. How about you, MACHAATAZA? I love these men. And I'll always salute them. I can't wait to get off the table up here to go salute them.
Right.
Because I ain't seen them in a couple days. I want to know how they doing. But you don't get this type of spirit just everywhere. It's not hosted everywhere. You go in a Christian church, and yeah, they'll treat you good in your face. But ooh-wee, when you turn your back, it's like somebody stuck a pole through your back.
Right.
Like they just stuck a sword through your neck. Because all they doing is tearing you down. And sometimes they'll do it in front of you. It's just, we have been taught to have no manners when dealing with one another, when speaking with one another. Like I say, my job is centered around speaking to people. And you get on the phone, and I pray to God I was making this up, but you get the oppressor on the phone, you know exactly who, you know what type of person is you talking to, cause they chipper, they extra eager, and they friendly, and and I'm just like, God, dog, I wish when LaToya called me, she act like she got some sense, but it's, how you doing? Here go the number, and could you help? I'm like, God, dog, yeah, I can help you out, no sweat. And then by the end of the call, now she figured out that, okay, well, I don't have to be like that toward him because he actually want to help. He cool. And I'm like, man, I wish she was. Now when people do call me and I have that rapport with people, because we got to begin to build that rapport with one another too. That's one thing that we miss out on, is that this thing that we, like they say, man, test the spirits and try them.
Right.
Now, you might walk up on somebody one time and they cool, but then the next time you see them, they ain't the same brother that you was talking to that week ago. In here, it's different. It doesn't matter what brother you talking to or about. You go see that brother, call him. You might not even spoke to him. It's the most pleasant conversation you could ever have because it's genuine. You can't fake manners. Manners is something that either you got them or you don't. And when you have them, do you use them properly? Do you know how to speak to people? Because that's where that seasoning comes from. Seasoning is for lack of better terms, especially when you're dealing with people, your manners. And there's a way to deal with somebody at certain times. Give me, we still at 19? No, yeah, give me 19. It's 18, 19, knock if you could, Baba Bashar.
Come, this is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city.
Now, this is something that we have to start, assessing, especially in our community. Before the truth, you'll just walk up to somebody and say any old thing, offend them, and not understand why the next time he don't even want to talk to you. He don't even want to deal with you. But because of the way you acted previously, and especially like we were saying with black folks when it come to restaurants and all that, the way that somebody treats us outright is the way I'm going to view you. And now when you trying to win me over again, it's one of the hardest things you could ever do, because I already have a prior engagement with you. I understand who you are. And that might have been a bad day you was having. But that bad day defined what our relationship is going to be, unless I let you change my perception of you. But that comes through time. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Come, and their contentions are like the bars of a castle.
And their contentions, you still got that definition of contentions?
A heated, Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1 second.
Well, for just time's sake, their contentions are like heated arguments or
Yeah,
heated
heated
words
disagreements,
or
right.
heated disagreements are like bars to a castle. It's hard to get around now. You can't.
Right.
You ain't gonna win an argument, or you ain't gonna be able to have a good conversation with somebody who you've previously offended. They ain't having it. But now we got to work in not causing the offense to begin with.
Right.
The offense to begin with is what makes our relationships hard. That's what makes living in the hood hard, because everybody's having altercations. Everybody's offending one another. Everybody's acting in a way of having no manners with one another. So it makes it hard to live. You already being beat down. You already don't have any socioeconomic status in this place. And then to turn around, the person next to you call you a dog on any given day. So that's a bubble waiting to explode. But now if we just learn these soft skills, and they call soft skills because it's not something that's hard to do. It's something easy. And it's just changing your mannerisms or changing the way in which you deal with each other. What else we got? We got some more on that one?
No, unless you want to go to 20.
Yeah, go ahead to 20.
Verse 20. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth,
See, go ahead.
and with the increase of his lips shall be he filled.
See, the thing
He be
is,
filled,
man.
Slocky.
See, the thing is, man, by the things that comes from your mouth, you know what I'm saying, you can bring about good and bad situations. So if you're bringing about good situations, there's going to be good things that come to you. Your situations that you get into, they'll be easily won if they're bad situations, and if they're good situations, you can make them even better just by how you speak to people. I mean, you might walk into a store and not think that you're going to, I have the habit of going into, one of the drink stores around here, and he's a heathen, but because of the way I walk in there, and it's already finna he already finna try to cut me a deal for whatever I want.
Right.
Man, you know what I'm talking about, right? The one down the way.
Right.
So whatever I'm wanting, you know what I'm saying, I'm already finna go in there. He already gonna cut me a deal, but because I know how to talk, I'm getting the taxes off the drink. I'm getting 3 bottles, you know what I'm saying, and all of them gonna be at least $5 off the bottle. But it's because I know. But now let that have been one of my brothers. You see what I'm saying? Like, if this was my brother, who knows what this could have been? But even if it was my brother, and he told me a higher price, I wouldn't have changed my mannerisms, because I already know how to go conduct myself, depending on what situation I'm in. That's where the fine line is drawn in. Y'all need the mic. It's a mic right here, that blue one, if y'all want it. And if you want it, Shapar, I know you got something. I know you got something.
I'm loaded.
I know. Hey, look, I know. I know my brother. I see him back there. He patting his leg. I say, he got something. Let me go ahead and get that mic back there to him. Now go ahead. Whatever you got, man. Oh, we in here talking about. Might have to hold the tab up. There we go.
Salakia. What I was saying, all the one, look, our people got to understand, we don't have the resources to give each other a break on the price.
Right.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you might go to this, I don't know, this heathen store,
Right.
and he can give you a break on the price, but he's running 4 or 5 stores.
Right.
So he's getting a break on his price because
Right.
he's
Right.
buying more product.
Mhm.
So if he charges you full price, he's making more. So
Right.
he can give you $2-3 off.
Mhm.
Your brother can't do that because he only got one store.
Right.
He's only buying a little bit of merchandise at a time.
Mhm.
So he's not getting the break that the heathen is getting.
Mhm.
He has to charge you to make money, or else his store will close.
Right.
Right.
And to go into what you're saying, and to that brother, you have to conduct yourself with him as if you was dealing with these heathens.
Right.
You go in there all happy-go-lucky to get the deal. Be happy-go-lucky to give your brother $10 more than what you was about to go spend.
Right.
That's the
Gun, I
only
don't
way you
want
can
gun.
build his store up.
Right.
For him to go get another store, so when he got 2 stores, he can get you $2 off now. Because you've been rocking for almost 20 years. He know what drink he like. He'll go, and that's the thing about brothers having stores and things like that. Brothers innately want to please the people that come shop with them. It's just automatic. I want to be able to have you come back. So the manners that he's going to show is by always having your product prepared for you. When you come in, they know what you want. Like y'all ever been to any of the mom and pop stores where it's ran by a brother or Hispanic? They always know what you gonna get. Every time they see you, it's hey, look, I got this right here for you. I know it. I know what you like. And you like, God, dog. Even though it's $5-10 more, what matters, what should matter more, is that this is from your own nation. Right. So the way you treat them should be just that, if not better. But it's all about in how you treat people. It's all about the way you speaking to people. Because if you already coming off the back and you, oh man, these prices too high, and oh man, you getting over. And we'll have all these negative and foul things to say regarding one another, man. We got to start changing that, man. Because like it say, man, a man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and increase with the lips that shall, Salaki, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Your lips, man, when you say certain things, that can all depend on how a situation can go. Because you might walk into that same black establishment that usually is giving high dollar or full dollar. And because you've come in and you have good manners and you treat them well, they can end up giving you the same deal as the heathen, and it may not break them that once or twice. Right. But you got to understand that this your people. And that's the only way we can build our nation up. What you got?
Don't go into a Israelite establishment expecting a hookup all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with our people sometimes, is that when you see a black establishment or Hispanic or Native American establishment, and when you go in as an Israelite, you automatically think, oh, I'm finna get a discount. I'm finna get a hookup. I'm supposed to get more than I'm bargaining for, more than I'm paying for. Mm-hmm. And when you don't get it, you know what I'm saying, you down talk and you shun the man or the woman. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you go to these Asian stores, mm-hmm. like they not letting you walk out their store without their 2 cents.
Good night. And that's not a lie.
You know what I'm saying? Like they want their 2 cents.
That's not a lie.
You gotta go back in your car, reach in your console, mm-hmm. and go grab them 2 pennies and come back and get your merchandise.
Good night.
You know what I'm saying?
They'll do
it. But they'll hold that 5 cents that they owe you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you want your change? They'll ask you, do you want your change?
Good night. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Change. You're not putting that. You're not putting my penny in that little black thing that sit up there by the register.
Right.
You ain't getting mine. I'm taking that. That's coming home with me. Shoot.
You know what I'm saying? So when you go in expecting, you know what I'm saying, you're bound to be disappointed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so that will cause you to have an ill feeling about, you know, supporting black businesses or Hispanic businesses, because you expect, you know, more than what you bargained for. Now, like I said, like, you know, the brother was saying, if you build a rapport or relationship with these people, man, okay, down the line, okay, yeah. You buy this from me all the time? Okay, well, you buy this from me today, man, I'm going to knock out $5. I'm going to knock out this. Right. Or I'm going to add this to it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're a returning customer, and I know you may tell somebody else, you know, how I deal business with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Good night,
and that's how it should go in the nation, man. That's all I had to say.
Nah, damn right. Cause what you saying? Oh, go ahead.
Salaki.
Go ahead. And
we also got to stop giving black businesses bad reviews on Facebook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So many times I look on Facebook and I could just see a brother or a sister just tearing down the black business on Facebook. Oh, they wasn't organized and blah, blah, blah. They're probably just starting.
Right.
They probably, you know, don't have the money to hire the employees, the level of employees that other businesses can hire. He probably got his cousin over there working for him for nothing.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Stop giving them bad reviews. Stop putting your foot on their neck before they even get a start.
Right.
You know, and what kills me is us doing it to ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
we got to learn how to have some kind of charity for each other. Like, we got to learn how to care about each other more, man.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that's gonna help us come up. That we start, just like the Isupk teaches, man. We got to start loving each other more than we love the other nations.
Damn
Period.
right.
Period. That's the only way we gonna come up in this world.
Damn right. And what you're saying, you know what I'm saying, is so right in that it's all about what the hell you saying. You can't go around just saying. I mean, don't get me wrong. You might have had the bad experience. Did you address that with the store owner? Did you say, hey, well, you might want to tighten up on this, that this was kind of off to me, you know, because most of the 9 times out of 10, the store owner in there, and like you say, you probably just dealing with Lil Joe. Now, Terry in the back, and if you want to holler, he'll come to the front and come talk to you. It ain't like he ain't there. It ain't like you ain't going to be able to. But before you get on the internet, besmirch the business, run them out to where now they can't make $1. They just put all the little red cents they had into the business. Now you done tore them down to now they trying to find out something else because what they were expecting to do was to stop punching the clock for an oppressor. Take a little bit of the pain off of the hood. So hire a couple of knuckleheads from around the way to sweep up the front. A couple of y'all get in the back and learn how to cook some ribs. Learn some skills for your life if you ain't never had none. Because the only thing I done seen you do was run around here and smoking weed and chasing after little girls. I can get you back here and teach you how to cook for them then. You want all these women, teach you how to make something. Teach you how to do something with yourself. And now you just killed what could have been the start of some of the ointment for this oppression, man. Just a little bit of it. It ain't much. It's a small job. $7, $7.50, all right? You know, something to put in your pocket. Now you can't put no money in nobody's pocket because now you done went there and berated them all on the internet. And it then went like wildfire because it was a black business. Because now if you say you had a bad experience at Denny's, ain't Nan Denny's shutting down. You have a bad experience at McDonald's, I bet you that McDonald's won't close. I bet you they won't miss a penny.
Right.
And don't miss a penny. They killing you and they don't miss a cent. You won't come by, but somebody else will come get their kids chicken nuggets. They'll come eat it. Have that same energy when it comes. Like me, I quit eating pizza a while back because I worked for Pizza Hut. And they got a bad reputation with me. And when I talk to people about Pizza Hut, all the pizza joints, you know, I try to stay away from them now. You know, the thing is, I stopped going to them. I ain't gonna give you no more money. I don't care where I'm at. Had a bad experience with Domino's down here. Nah, I ain't gonna get on the internet and do all that because I know it don't really do nothing. I'm gonna just stop giving you my money. So now when I see black establishments, I at least go give you a chance. Now, depending on what you got, okay, so we had off the north side up here, there was a brother, man, he opened up a soul food shop. And the food smelled damn good. I say, it's too good. It's too good to be lawful. It should smell too good to be lawful. So I get the one thing that I know is gonna be, let me get that meatloaf, them taters, and some goddamn some macaroni. And I mean, it was good. And my cousin, he say, you know, after a while of me not being there, I say, man, well, what happened? You know, did you stop going or is he still open? Because I'm finna come to your area, you know. I want to go get something to eat. He say, yeah, man, nah, you know. The old man say, you know, people was talking about that the price is too high and, you know, the food wasn't as good as what they was paying for. I say, God damn, man, this is how black people do black people.
Right.
This is how black people. And because I was seeing them devils go up in the spot, because you know devils, they like seasoned food.
Oh yeah.
They can't make it, but they love to eat it though. So they was going in there giving him the money, but it was his own people that was the demise of his store, which brings me to this point. Read 21 for me if you could.
Come on, this is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
What is in the power of the tongue?
Death and life.
Man, you have the power to control not only your own death in life, but your mouth can also control somebody else's chances of life and death by what you say about people or what you say to people. So this thing is deeper than, I know we're using, just speech and manners and saying, basic words. But this goes all the way down to what type of life you can live, what type of interactions that you can create with your people, or what type of reactions you can create for your people. Because now think about it, because nobody puts the good reviews up. It doesn't happen too often. Not the, oh man, this food was amazing. That review doesn't go up. Wait till something bad happens. Now it's, don't go there. They got, like I say, nappy head Taniqua up at the front. Them that cussing you out during your order. You got Tyrone in the back. He don't look like he washed his hands. You got all that to say, but now when the food was good, you didn't do nothing but go home about your business. You had the power to control whether or not these people stayed working or whether they had to close their doors. And all it takes is one. All it takes is one bad experience with you and a brother over, was the rapper that got shot. It was a young cat, got shot over a game of Madden or 2K. Think about what they was probably saying. Lil Snoop, that's his name.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Got shot over a game of Madden or 2K. But think about what they saying throughout the game to each other. Your interaction or your response to one. Like I had the pleasure of seeing our brothers when UPK go live and they're playing Call of Duty. And the pleasantry that you could hear in the midst of them, they're interacting with each other over the game getting intense. But the brotherhood was not spared. The brotherhood was still in the midst of the conversation. That's what we have to get back to. Or, all throughout the 90s or the 80s, you always heard about them shootings that go down at the basketball park. Everybody up there playing basketball, things getting heated on the court. Somebody say the wrong thing, and now the shots ringing out. You at the party, and I know I done been to a few of them. You at the party, and they don't like him over there because he didn't say excuse me when he first walked in the door. But he felt like his manhood was going to be challenged for him just having manners. That's what we do to one another over manners. They'll say your manhood is at stake just to say please or thank you. My bad. Excuse me, bro. I'm sorry. That show you how much more of a man that you are to at least admit your fault. Because that'll save an argument. That'll save a shooting. To tell a brother's rib, hey, Salakia, sis, you go ahead first. Or, you know what, let me go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry. You know how many arguments brothers get into because another brother didn't respect his rib or didn't say the right thing to her? How many times brothers get into an argument about that? I saw one the other day with the dude. It was a hell of a fight, but, dude ended up knocking out two people. But because one dude disrespected another brother's wife. And all you have to do is say, my bad. I'm sorry. Did I offend you? If I did, excuse me. Pardon my language. Pardon my speech. Excuse what I'm about to say. It's a way to do that, and it's a way to speak. It's called, and like I say, here we know it as seasoning. Especially as young officers, what a lot of us lack at the beginning is seasoning, or how to say things, how to put posts up the right way, what to say on the post, how to comment, what post to put up. This word seasoning should not be taken lightly. Even sisters, sisters above all, should learn seasoning, because there's a shame that you can bring about to yourself with the way you say things or what you have said. There's a shame that comes with that, man. And a lot of us, we don't really know how to endure it when we say things that we don't even know how to come back and say, I'm sorry. Like I brought out a scripture earlier that said, man, look, a slip on the pavement is better than a slip of the tongue. It's better you fall and crack your head than to say the wrong thing, because what's in the power of the tongue?
Death and life.
Death and life. And they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to drop that. You got a precept or something? I see you holding something.
No, I'm trying to find it. No, we can go. You can keep going.
Okay, give me the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, 23. You good back there? You got something on it? Man, see, my man right, see right there, that's a smart man right there. that's a good goddamn man. I like that. And that's a good thing to have right there, man. That's a good thing to have. Sometimes, if you ain't got nothing, hold it down. Process the thoughts. That's beautiful.
You say 23 and 21?
Nah, 21, 23.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 23. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles.
From what?
Keepeth his soul from troubles.
Man, if you learn how to hold your mouth and hold your tongue, you will keep your soul from troubles. Now, it's not saying that you don't use it. It's saying that if you know how to use, because I have a car, and I keep the car because I'm going to use it the right way. I'm just not going to use it up. It's not going to cause me any trouble because I'm going to do what needs to be done for it. Now, with your mouth and your tongue, you have to learn what to say, how to say, when to say. And if you don't know what to say, it's like the brother just said, it ain't that he probably don't know what to say. He say he just going to hold it. Say he ain't got nothing. And that's a wise thing to learn, that not every time is it worth speaking on. Because there's, like the scriptures brought out earlier, you know what I'm saying, that there's a time and a place for everything under the sun. Just not one thing, for everything.
So, like, if I may, sometimes you may have a lot to say, but it may be better to keep your mouth closed.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as, like when you come into the school, man, as a young man or even a trooper, you know what I'm saying, especially when people start talking about, scripture and stuff, like, you want to say a lot.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Because either you feel like you done learned something, or you know what I'm saying, and you want to jump it, and then you want to dive into the conversation, into where you know what I'm saying, you may bring up a point that's really not accurate. You know what I'm saying? Or you may bring up something that you probably done said too much on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that can cause somebody to either turn away from listening to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You may gain an ear, but most of the time when you say something without learning, you know what I'm saying, especially when you come into this school, man, you're taught as a young man and a trooper to just shut the hell up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And learn. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I said last week, man, you got 2 eyes, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So that means you're supposed to look and listen twice as much as you speak. You know what I'm saying? That's all I have to say.
Man, Most High in Christ, huh? And what you're saying just leads me into, you know what I'm saying, give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 14. Did we already do 21, 23? Did we finish that? Yeah, we did. We did
21.
Go ahead and get me Ecclesiasticus chapter 14 and verse 1. Because, again, and I have to take this into, being young in truth. Because it's a funny thing to be around people, and sometimes you have all that to say. Sometimes you might say the wrong thing.
Right.
But now, if you don't say the wrong thing, give me that.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus out of the Apocrypha, chapter 14, verse 1. Blessed is the man that have not slipped with his mouth.
See, if you don't slip with your mouth and say the wrong thing, you don't have the propensity to say, you don't have the opportunity to give up a salakia. That's what they tell her, work for no salakias. Work to never say the wrong thing. Because learning to say the right and wrong things is the difference between a L for the school or a dub for the Most High. That's how serious saying the right and wrong thing is. Saying the right things at the right time, or not saying the wrong thing at all. Blessed is he that slippeth not, that don't slip. Never make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? With your mouth. Read on.
And is not pricked with the multitude of sins.
And blessed is he also that is not pricked with the multitude of sins. And again, like one of the scriptures say, I'm just paraphrasing, you know what I'm saying? A fool, he'll sin with his mouth, will sin abundantly with his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll start to rack up sins with the things that you say, just because you don't know what to say. And if you learn, some manners, you learn what to say, how to say, who to say, when to say, it'll save you from a multitude of sins. It'll save you from your troubles. It'll save you from having to get checked for saying something just outwardly ignorant. Something that you just stop, son, from doing that. It'll save you those troubles, man. A lot of times, that's what many of us need a lesson in. It's just having manners. Learning when to speak and how to speak, who to speak to, what you can say and what you can't. Learning not to slip with your tongue. Learning the right things to say. Learning how what we call it is a positive positioning when you speak. Because even you can say a coarse thing to someone, but when said the right way, it won't be taken hard, or it won't be taken harshly. There's always a better way to do something. And in learning that brings about seasoning. All right, we could drop that. Give me the book of Proverbs, chapter 23 and verse 9. 23 and verse 9.
Come, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 9. Speak not in the ears of a fool.
Speak not into the ears of a fool. This is a question now. Why should you speak into the ears of a fool?
Because a fool gonna add whatever you saying is he gonna leak it out.
See what I'm saying?
Or give you bad counsel.
See, it's a thing. And a lot of people, especially like I say, this really is one of those classes, you know what I'm saying, for young officers and sisters as well. You may be zealous to pass this knowledge around, and that's cool. Sometimes hold your tongue, man. That's not it's a time and a place for the knowledge, or it's a time and a place for the truth, and really it's for everywhere. And it can be told to anybody, but the scripture's just giving you a bit of a caution, man. Speak not into the ears of a fool. Read on.
For he will despise the wisdom of thy words.
He'll hate the wisdom of your words. So what the scripture's saying here, man, just watch out who you talking to. Sometimes you don't have to talk to everybody about everything. There's a person that when you begin to speak about the truth will accept it. And then there's a person that when you begin to speak about the truth will reject it, rebuke it, and they'll rebuke it, and just they'll want you to stay away from them regarding that. They won't even have a conversation with you because, one, they're foolish. And you really giving them the medicine to life. But they could give a damn less. And you have to begin to know who those people are. Like sometimes, if I see sometimes, man, where people will get into, small little arts with people, and it just kind of seems frivolous and pointless. And then, toward the end of the sparring, I see that remark that'll come from a captain or a general or something and say, "Hey, I take that down," or "Yo, I give me a call."
Right.
sometimes, man, you refrain from these small things just all by knowing the when, the where, the how, and the who. Because the truth has a place and a time everywhere. But now, for your words or for your input, there is a place and a time that matters. Because what you can do, not regarding the place and the time, you can not only shame yourself, but you can shame those also who you represent. And that's most important, that you don't represent yourself. So regarding your manners, or regarding how you speak, or who you speak to and when you speak to them, is what you gotta. Okay. Most High in Christ. Thought you had something back there. It's class. You can if you want. But speak not unto a fool, man, for he's gonna despise your word, despise the wisdom of your words. Really ain't gonna give a damn about what you're talking about. It's really not gonna care, because again, like the scriptures say, the time and the place for it.
Right.
I mean, Christ said this. Give me the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 3. So we'll get into what Christ had to say regarding this matter, because the scriptures are manifold, but this is one that we use, for this type of thing.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye?
Wait, hold on. Not 7 and 3. Skip me down to. Hold on. Let me see what it says. I said Matthew chapter 7 and 3 or 3 and 7?
You said 7 and 3.
7 and 3. Nah, give me I'm on 5. Salaki. Let me get that with you. Yeah, not 7 and 3. Give me verse 6. Salaki. My handwriting a little off.
Come, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 6. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs.
Man, give not that which is holy unto dogs. Don't just go around, thinking that you can just give this to just any old body, man. And dog, like a dog is somebody that's low. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, these scriptures are for those that are in low degree, but sometimes some people just don't give a damn. And you have to realize that those people just don't care. So don't work too hard to just give this unto the dogs. You got some on it? Go ahead.
Neither cast ye your pearls before swine.
Man, don't start to just give, don't give all that fight, all that time and all that effort and all that energy unto swine, unclean. Like a pig is something that's unclean. You know what I'm saying? And some of these people, they unclean. Their thoughts are unclean. What they, these fake Israelites, you know what I'm saying? They don't give a damn about serving the Most High. They give a damn about their own glory. They prideful and boastful. They don't want to subject themselves to the authority of the Isupk. So really don't, you don't have to, chasten your spirit by dealing with them, man. That's casting your good things unto swine. But why shouldn't you cast it unto them? Go ahead,
Lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you.
The thing is, man, that all they gonna do is take what you're saying, take all the good name of the UPK and say that, oh, well, y'all don't do nothing but talk down on everybody else, but everybody talks down right back on us. And then, they tear it down and talk about how we dress and what we wearing and, all that other garbage and nonsense. So to even have those conversations with some of those people is frivolous. It serves no fruit. Like, I'd rather find myself having a conversation of meaningful, substance with somebody who's curious
Right.
than to somebody that actually knows that the UPK is the home of the truth and refuses, I mean blatantly refuses to come under the fold and behaves as insubordinate children. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, you know, you learn these things and you learn how to do these things by learning the season. Like, and I love the way of how Cross the Line is built and set forth. That it teaches that literally when you watch Across the Line, yes, you see the small, you know, back and forths of certain people in the debates. But you see how the captains begin to address certain people. You get on the phone with that bull, they know how to get at you and still do it in a positively positioned way that you learn what was just done, that it wasn't a real argument, that they just pretty much did away with this person. And then when the conversation hit to a point where it seemed like no side was coming to any conclusion or, you know, wanted to end the matter, you see all the tens come in the chat, and Cap politely says, brother, what's 11 minus 11? He don't hang up. He doesn't just outrightly hang up on him. Brother, what's 11 minus 1? Just what's 11 minus 1? Or what's 5 plus 5? Because everybody knows that means it's time for you to go. Or how he handles those conversations, even with those, I don't even know who in the hell these brothers are. The acronym is FOP. I don't know who but they get on the show and they begin to handle themselves like young women or small children. And the captains are just so graceful with the way that they deal with them because they let their speech be graceful. And they let their words be seasoned with salt for them to know how they should speak or answer every man. And this is pleasant. It's pleasant, and it's a sight to see. And to learn that is a skill definitely worth learning. In the place that teaches you to season your words or to become a seasoned man, a seasoned speaker, a good teacher, is in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And with that, I'm going to end the class. I'll pass the class over to Precinct Officer Ron. Baba Kashaw. Don't forget the trumpets and Day of Atonement if you could, Baba Kashaw.
Okay. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment, out of the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Mayashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation is memorial blowing of trumpets, which is the first day of the 7th month, which is Thursday, September 17th, 2020, out of the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. Also, the Day of Atonement is also following the memorial blowing of trumpets, which is the 10th day of the 7th month, which is Saturday, September 26, 2020, out of the book of Leviticus, chapter 27 through 32. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school to start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And these are the security announcements.
And with that, men of Israel, I'm going to give courteous salute to the brothers and the sisters. Men of Israel, I Majum Shabbat, I Majum Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Brakatah, Yazmatah, Sar, Turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Thabah, Shem Yahushua. Yazamatah, dismissed.